You do not typically picture a lady when you think of a terrible criminal mastermind. Women, like men, are capable of doing everything that men can do, but male criminals are more likely to be violent, controlling, and power-hungry than female ones. Men are more ruthless and intimidating in the eyes of their foes, but a woman may achieve the same result. In most situations, the matriarch reigns supreme. Women are frequently recognized for their capacity to command respect and loyalty, which are both beneficial in the criminal world. Every mob family and drug cartel need a leader who can keep all of the followers under control while also being ruthless enough to do what is necessary when required. Additionally, merely being a woman might provide some measure of police protection owing to its uncommonness. In this video, we are going on a journey deep into the earth to look at the top 10 most dangerous female gangsters in the world. Number 10. Maria Leon. Even though she was the mother of 13 children, Maria Leon led a rather stressful existence in prison. Maria was involved in the transportation of pharmaceuticals, assassination contracts, and human slavery. She enlisted the assistance of the Mafia of Mexico, which gave her the reputation as probably one of the most dangerous gangsters of Los Angeles. Following the death of her son in a shootout with the cops, Maria fled Mexico. She learned about this when she was on the run in Mexico and intended to attend the funeral of her son. Because she had been prohibited from entering the United States, she acknowledged that one of the unlawful methods brought her there. Her gang members had already been under police surveillance at that time, so catching her and several other people was simple. Number 9. Fenette Yumza. Colonel Fenette Yumza is a senior member of M23 military and political wings. Before joining M23, he earned a degree while growing up in a Rwandan refugee camp. While she considers herself to be a military commander, according to Human Rights Watch, some of the activities carried out by the group include murder and child conscription. She is in command. While her soldiers commit atrocities, Yumza spends her time unwinding with manicures and giving interviews that make her out to be some sort of feminist. Many sources claim that she acts as if she is assisting women in becoming empowered when, in reality, she is no different than any other rebel group leader who just wants to concentrate all the power. Number 8. Judy Moren. Judy Moren was born in December 18, 1944. She is the well-deserved leader of the Moren family, a group of notorious criminals from Melbourne, Australia. When they were drug traffickers, the Moren household became well known. The first spouse of Judy, Leslie Johnny Cole, perished during the gun battle in 1982. Her son Mark Cole was killed a year later. Louise Moren was her subsequent spouse. When she was 18, her father died. The brother of her stepfather, Danny, who was also named Danny Moren, was shot and killed in June 2009. Then Judy herself and 3 accomplices were arrested. During the trial, her home was set on fire by unknown individuals. Judy was sentenced to 26 years in prison as a consequence. Number 7. Rosetta Cutalo. Rosetta Cutalo, also known as Ice Eyes, is the older sister of the notorious prison and former head of the illegally organized crime group of Nuova Camorra Organizada. Just because her brother spent more time in jail, Raphael Cutalo was the one person with whom he might defer on additional strategies for running his business. She then became the big boss of his gang. The 16th century palace of Castello Mediceo, which has 365 rooms, tennis courts, and a swimming pool as its home, was chosen by Rosetta. She instructed her fort to blow up in obedience to an emotional impulse in the early 1980s. As a result of this decision, her fortress was routed and the girl herself fled for 10 years. She was a good negotiator, and she frequently participated in meetings with Sicilian mobsters and South African cocaine traffickers. In 1993, she was arrested and convicted on mafia-related charges, but her brother always maintained that she was completely ignorant of the gravity of the tasks he assigned her to accomplish. She also succeeded in obtaining acquittals for 9 separate murder convictions by implying that she was non-threatening. Number 6. Jemer Thompson. Jemer Thompson, better known as the Queen Pin, arrived from a particularly polluted environment, so she needed to act. She started dealing crack in large amounts with her spouse Anthony Mosley. Soon, the pair built one of the biggest drug smuggling networks in Los Angeles in the 1980s. Queen Pin Jemer Thompson was a major player in the crack business during the 1980s crack epidemic in Los Angeles, California. After her boyfriend informed on her, she went on the run for 2 years before being apprehended at 6th grade graduation ceremony of her son in 1993. She was arrested, charged, and sentenced to 15 years in jail. Her husband was murdered several years later. She, however, continued his business. The new vendor turned it over to the authorities. Then the young lady had to begin working again. 5 long years later, she returned to Los Angeles, where she was arrested and imprisoned for 15 years in a high-security jail. In 2005, Thompson was let out. She became an evangelist minister with the aim of demonstrating to people that God can forgive and that everyone has a second chance to alter their lives. Number 5. Claudia Felix. Claudia Felix is known as the Mexican Kim Kardashian for her appearance and social media presence. She has over 35,000 Twitter and Instagram followers where she shares images of her opulent lifestyle and unique AK-47s. Despite her youth, she reportedly works for a powerful drug cartel and is the new boss of Los Antrax, whose members include sadistic hitmen who work for Mexico's Sinaloa cartel. She has denied the allegations on Twitter, but it appears that the Mexican authorities will launch an investigation against her at some point. In 2014, a few news organizations claimed that she had taken on the leadership of Mexico ruthless gang Los Antrax, implicated in a spate of bloodthirsty murders. Her boyfriend, the leader of the gang, was arrested after she obtained this post. El Chino was accused of murdering 3 males who had been discovered hanging from a beam on one of the bridges of the Mexico nearly 4 years ago. Number 4. Ana Cristina. Ana Cristina is also known as the Millionaire Madam or the Soccer Mom Madam. Ana Cristina was the head of an organized prison gang that was engaged in human trafficking. Ana Cristina was arrested in 2012 for running a call girl business and promised never to reveal the names in her little black book. However, her resolve began to weaken when prosecutors applied pressure on her. She attempted to disclaim her responsibility during the trial, stating that she only ran the dating service and never a brothel in any manner. Then she took part in the Responsible Police program and gave testimony, making her a danger to reputations across the world. She was handed a 6-month jail sentence and 5 years of probation. She actually made greater than $10 million. She went to jail and is now working on a dating site. Number 3. Sandra Ali Beltran. Sandra Ali Beltran was born on October 11, 1960. After seizing control of a Mexican drug cartel, she became known as the Queen of the Pacific. She married twice. Each time, she eloped with a police officer who vowed to confront the drug business. Both her husbands had been assassinated by hired killers working for her husband. Beltran was honest and left no evidence that proved her connection. In 2007, she was charged with organized crime and drug trafficking. Although several prices had been reduced during the course of the investigation, Sandra has still been credited for unlawful possession of guns and money laundering. She declared herself a housewife who makes ends meet by selling clothes during interrogation. She was not even on the police radar until she sought assistance from authorities in locating her missing son, who had been kidnapped and held for a $5 million ransom. It took law enforcement 4 years to accumulate sufficient evidence to charge her with drug and money laundering offenses. She was released from prison in February 2021 after serving 8 years behind bars. Number 2. Raphaela D Altero. Raphaela D Altero, sometimes known as Big Kitten, became the leader of the Camorra in Naples after her husband Nicola Pianese was murdered in 2006. This was not an intimidating role for her to take on because Raphaela had already experienced violence. The reason for the injury was that rival gangs sought to eliminate her due to her domination of lucrative drug cartels in Naples, which is a crime-ridden southern metropolis. According to certain assumptions, her gang was linked to over 4,000 murders in the previous 30 years. Extortion, money laundering, counterfeit currency production, theft, and illegal possession of weapons are among her past crimes. She was detained with 65 others in one of several Navy raids in 2012. More than $10 million in cash was seized during the operation. Raphaela was arrested in 2012 on charges of extortion for robbery and dealing drugs and possession of illegal arms. Number 1. Maria Lexy. Maria Lexy was born on March 24, 1951. She was the undisputed boss of the Camorra clan in the city of Naples from 1993 until her arrest in 2001. One of her nicknames was La Piccolina, or the Little Girl. Maria, the previous head of the Lexy family, settled in north of Naples. She was born into a family of notorious local gangsters, and her father and brother were well-known criminals. Her husband was also a Camorrista, under the command of Lexy. The Second Igliano Alliance, which consisted of Camorra families, became more organized, secretive, sophisticated, and powerful. This family has never been involved with the sex trade before her appearance. Maria also introduced a new stream of income that members of her organization paid $2,000 for children from the Albanian mafia. The ladies had been led to believe that they would work in another country, and they gladly accepted the opportunity to escape poverty in their homeland. When the women arrived in Naples, they discovered themselves enslaved after being forced to provide services of intercourse. All those who did not fit the criteria had just been killed. It was also under her leadership that Camorra clans began making money from prostitution. In 2001, Maria Lexy was arrested and imprisoned, still remains there today. Well, this is the end of our today's video. Please consider giving this video a like and checking out more videos like it over on the Unimaginable channel. Thank you for watching and see you soon.